Hello, everyone. Welcome to PAX East Day 2. I'm so excited for all the games we're going to play. Let's go. I'm here with Meredith Gran, and tell me about who you are and what you do.
I'm a game developer. I've been doing this for about 7 years. Before that, I was a cartoonist and an animator. So I'm kind of taking like a lot of what I built as like, a storyteller, as a writer, visual artist into games. And I'm finding that it's actually like a pretty natural transition for me. I'm telling stories that are very personal and meaningful to me, and trying to conjure that meaning in the people who play them.
Can you tell us about, well, obviously, Perfect Tide Station to Station is like the sequel, right?
Yes.
Can you also tell us about the predecessor, just in tandem with this one?
Yeah, so the first game, Perfect Tides, is about a 15-year-old girl who lives on an island. She's very isolated, like both physically and emotionally, and she spends a lot of time on the 2000s era internet, where she finds fellow writers who kind of aspire to the same things as her, and she forms relationships through that world. A lot of what you do in that game is kind of explore sort of listlessly the empty island and try to make sense of little items that you find and the relationships that you have with your family and your friends. This game is sort of a continuation of that, but it's also its own thing. It's a different kind of life. She's 18 now. She goes to college. She kind of knows better about herself and what she's doing. So the game has like a little bit more of a drive behind it and a little bit less of like a meandering quality. You're in the big city. Everything's fast paced now and there's stuff to do. The game is definitely more centered around an academic pursuit for her. She's acquiring knowledge. She's kind of leveling up that knowledge as she has conversations and reads and experiences things in the story. She's also like managing relationships that one might have for the first time when they're 18 years old. So a lot of what was prevalent in the first game is here as well, but it's very different because 18 is different than 15, and the kind of things that she's experiencing are still brand new things for her.
We got all that MSN and stuff like that, so those are scenarios that like parts of the game that we play out, right?
Yeah, she uses like AOL Instant Messenger. So you still,
AOL,
yeah. So she still interacts with the computer, but this time instead of us seeing her face and like the back of the computer, it's turned around and we're seeing the computer screen. So there's a few things we can do on the computer now. She can send emails and have IM conversations, but you can also go on the web and explore websites. You can search for the topics that you're storing and like learning about and continue to get more information about them. You can ask yourself about those topics and you can write. So like a big component of this game is the writing assignments that you get through school and through personal relationships. And the writing is like by and large an optional part of the game. But if you want to be a writer, then you may spend a lot of your time in this game trying to find the best way to acquire knowledge and apply it to your writing.
In that way, are there like multiple endings to the game, or do we kind of have like a mosh pit of like you go down different paths but end up in the same place?
Well, I had a really strong narrative in mind for this, and I want everybody to experience that narrative from start to finish. But along the way, there are quite a few choices you can make that will really texture the story and give you different kinds of writing and dialogue and different animations and stuff. So I think that the player is neither rewarded nor punished, but they can affect the game quite a few times.
Yeah, I think a lot of people identify with like one path or like maybe multiple paths, and so they might want to replay a certain way or things like that. So I think that's really well done. I was really curious about like what kinds of themes and like what inspired like your art style.
Well, I guess my art style came from like what a lot of people my age kind of were inspired by, which is like cartoons on Nickelodeon and anime, right? And like some gobbledygook of that has like solidified over time. As far as video games, like aesthetically and mechanically, I'm very inspired by 90s graphical adventures by Sierra, like the King's Quest games, things like that. So those really laid the groundwork for the first game. Although I feel like with this game, I'm kind of going off in my own direction a little more. I have a bit more confidence at this point, and I know a little bit more what I want with it.
I was also really curious, because you write a comic called Octopus Pie.
Yes.
Is there any tie-in from Octopus Pie to like these games?
I try not to let the universes cross, but I think that people who read Octopus Pie are going to get kind of a similar feeling from this, that like this is what it's like to be here and now. And I think that's kind of what I'm interested in. I'm interested in stories where characters age and change, and Octopus Pie has a lot of that too. So I think it's, there are things that are thematically similar about it without actually like literally crossing into each other.
What is something that you hope people take away whenever they finish the game or just from playing the game?
I think that when people find themselves in my games, I feel that it has been a success. And a lot of people will make the effort to point out that their lives are nothing like this. Like, I'm not a girl. I didn't grow up this way. I didn't grow up in this time period. And yet it feels like she's looking over my shoulder at my life. That's what I want. That's makes me really happy.
It kind of makes it like timeless almost.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is my hope with this.
As someone who hasn't played the previous game, is Station to Station something that anyone could pick up, or should they play the first one first?
I think they can pick it up without playing the first game. What these games serve as is kind of a character study of this character. And if you played the first game, it's probably very gratifying to then like continue with that. But you're going to get the idea of what she's like very quickly. And I think if you like the game, it'll be no thing to play the first game after that one.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm excited to play it. Yeah.